vision.
Next, there's Legoland of Adventure, which is totally not Adventureland. First, there's Coastersaurus. Remember when that rumor was going around that Jurassic Park 4 would have dinosaurs with guns? Nothing could prepare you for this. Dinosaurs with megaphones! This is a simple but charming wooden roller coaster with simple but charming Lego dinosaur decorations. Then there's Safari Trek, which is about as far below the Jungle Cruise as the Jungle Cruise is below Kilimanjaro Safari. And there's Pharaoh's Revenge, where kids can take revenge into their own hands by shooting their siblings with foam balls. And Beetle Bounce, which is a kiddie freefall, but at least the kids don't have to pull themselves up this time. But the crown piece of Land of Adventure, and possibly all of Legoland Florida, is the Lost Kingdom Adventure, a shooter dark ride that, yes, is simple enough for young children, but still is the most technologically advanced and aesthetically interesting ride in the park. It doesn't have as many targets as Buzz Lightyear, but it's a matter of quality over quantity. Buzz Lightyear's ride system requires many people in the same room at the same time, so the targets don't really react to what you're doing. But here, there's one car in each room at a time, so everything you hit can be animated. The fun of hitting the targets is less about scoring points and more about seeing how the targets react. Almost like a meat space version of one of those interactive storybooks where you click around and see what happens. And if nothing else, it's as close as we get to having an Indiana Jones ride in a Florida Adventureland. That's totally not Adventureland. Next, there's Lego Kingdom, an area that's totally not Fantasyland. This includes a horsey ride called Royal Joust, which is like that one Pirates World attraction, but actually fit for humans.
Back when amusement parks didn't have to fuss over safeties.
There's also a spinning ride called Merlin's Challenge, and a playground called Forestman's Hideout. Wolves rule, okay? Come on, please, I crave approval. And the Dragon.
And the dragon.
This starts with a very short bit of dark ride with not a lot of animation going on, but there's a lot of detail and you might have to ride it a few times to catch it all. And whoa, real skeletons, none of that Lego skeleton softness. Oh, and also a giant Lego dragon, making this ride the closest thing we have to Beastly Kingdom. Then the wizard does either something or nothing, it's hard to tell, and after the very short bit of dark ride, there's a very short, very mild bit of roller coastering. In keeping with everything else at Legoland, it's not the most thrilling or technically advanced ride, but it's cute and charming, and I certainly admire the artistry. And speaking of artistry, more than any other land, the center of the park, both spatially and emotionally, is Miniland.
Whoa! Miniland? Has my girl been seeing another park behind my back?
What? No! Mini is in miniature, you weird overpossessive freak.
And you're sure that this Miniland has nothing to do with anything of mine?
I am absolutely positive. Oh.
What? What do you see?
Nothing. This is Legoland's unique contribution to the theme parks of Florida. Sure, Downtown Disney has some great Lego decorations outside a store, but nothing like Miniland. It's not a particularly interactive attraction aside from some push-button animation and sound effects, but if you like theme parks for the detail, here's some detail that's worth seeing. Great Lego recreations of places both fictional and real. Sure, the real ones are truncated, but if you've ever been to any of these places in person, you'd be amazed at how accurate some of these recreations are. For frame of reference, they have both the real New York and Vegas New York distinct from each other. In some cases, the only alteration is they change brand names to a parody. Unless the company is a Legoland partner, of course. Legoland is clearly a lower budget park than most in Florida, and for the most part, they're not really trying that hard to pretend you're somewhere you're not.
There's no theme at all here, man.
Hey now, that's not fair, Hank Azaria. Just because it's not an immersive fictional world, that doesn't mean there's no theme. There's a very strong theme here, a theme that goes deeper than surface level Lego decorations, but fits the brand perfectly. Creativity. With play areas and several do-it-yourself attractions, this is a park that bends over backwards to encourage children to use their imaginations and get excited about making things, doing things, and being what they want to be. Sure, not every single ride fits this theme, but it's at least as consistent as Future World is. So, is it worth adding Legoland to your Florida vacation? Well, it may not have many unique ride experiences to offer the adult theme park nerd, but if you have young children, aside from the shortage of familiar characters, this might even be a better park for them than Magic Kingdom. It's not the work of art that a Disney park is, and there might not be as many things for the parents and the kids to have fun together. But if your mission is to give your kids a good time, this has a lot more hands-on activities for them. And if you live closer to Winter Haven than Orlando already, well then bonus. It's a matter of knowing if it's worth the price for you. You're not paying for a fully immersive Disney-style themed world or even a Six Flags-style load of generic but thrilling roller coasters. You're paying for a few amusement park rides inside a beautiful garden that features both a children's museum and a museum of Lego art. And if the garden and the art displays only sound slightly appealing to you, there are inexpensive or even free alternatives elsewhere in the state. But if that sort of thing sounds right up your alley, or if you just have a compulsive need to visit every amusement park you can, Legoland is a quaint little park whose heart may be bigger than its budget, but God bless it, it has a clear mission, which is pretty impressive for a park built from the remains of a pre-Disney amusement enterprise. And who knows, maybe someday it'll grow into something that'll be a real contender in the Central Florida tourism industry. They've already made a handful of expansions, such as a water park in a new area based on the popular Chima franchise. It still has a ways to go before it'll make the mouse nervous, but if nothing else, it's quieter than most theme parks. Good luck, Cypress Gardens. I hope you fare better in the future than you did before Legoland came along. Tomorrow, we'll move even further away from Orlando as we look at Busch Gardens, Tampa.
A brewery and a zoo? Yeah.
A man who's a dreamer and never takes leave, who thinks of a world that is just make-believe.